Narrator. Hello and a very warm welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. Today we're diving into a topic many of us face, the job interview. Whether you're a recent graduate or an experienced professional, mastering the art of the job interview is a critical skill. Do you ever feel a knot in your stomach thinking about tough questions? Or wonder how to best showcase your skills? In today's competitive job market, a successful interview isn't just about what you know. It's about effectively communicating your value and potential. It's your chance to turn your resume into a living narrative. This episode is designed to equip you with the language, strategies, and confidence you need to navigate job interviews with greater ease. We'll explore preparation, common questions, effective communication, and crucial post-interview etiquette. You'll learn to articulate your strengths, address weaknesses, and ask insightful questions. To guide us, we'll listen to an insightful conversation between our two experienced professionals, Liam and Sophia. They will share personal experiences, common pitfalls, and effective strategies for securing desired roles. By listening, you'll enhance your English comprehension and gain invaluable vocabulary for discussing career development and interviews. Stay with us until the end for an extensive practice session. This session is meticulously designed to help you actively engage with the language and concepts, allowing you to internalize new vocabulary, reflect on your experiences, and practice essential conversational phrases. So, reflect on your own interview experiences, listen attentively, and let's explore the multifaceted world of job interviews together. Liam, hi Sophia. Great to connect again. I was just thinking about a friend's job search and how challenging interviews can be. What are some of your initial thoughts or common challenges you've faced? Sophia, hi Liam. Wonderful to chat with you too. For me, managing nerves has always been a persistent challenge. No matter how much I prepare, that initial surge of adrenaline can make it difficult to think clearly or articulate my thoughts smoothly. It's like my mind goes blank for a split second. Liam, absolutely. Pre-interview jitters are real, especially for roles I'm passionate about. Another challenge I've faced is the sheer unpredictability of some questions. You prepare for common ones, but then a curveball makes you pause and scramble. It really tests your ability to think on your feet. Sophia, yes, the unexpected question. A true test of adaptability. Sometimes, we also struggle with articulating accomplishments effectively without sounding boastful. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And then there's demonstrating cultural fit. Understanding if your personality aligns with the company's values, which can be subtle. Liam, exactly. And sometimes, even with good preparation, connecting with the interviewer personally can be tough, making the conversation stiff. When did you realize you needed to significantly improve your interview skills? Sophia, several times actually. It often became apparent after rejection emails, even when I felt qualified. I'd reflect on what went wrong, and it often came down to not effectively conveying my value or not asking enough insightful questions. Not showcasing my true potential was a clear sign, creating a lot of self-doubt. Liam, definitely. Feeling overlooked despite having the right skills can be disheartening. I've personally grappled with underestimating the importance of researching the company beyond just their website. Knowing their recent projects, competitors, or mission statement can make a huge difference in how you frame answers and questions. Sophia, I can relate. Superficial research is a common pitfall. So, how do you typically deal with that initial overwhelming feeling before an important interview? What basic strategies have you found effective? Liam, for me, it's crucial to start with a thorough job description analysis. I break it down into key skills, responsibilities, and qualifications. Then I brainstorm specific examples from my past experiences that demonstrate each point. This helps tailor my resume and cover letter, and prepares me for related questions. It's like creating a personal inventory of relevant experiences. Sophia, that's a fantastic starting point. Understanding what they're looking for is paramount. I've found that practicing common interview questions out loud, either alone or with a friend, makes a huge difference. I focus on using the STAR method, situation, task, action, result, to structure my answers for behavioral questions. This ensures my responses are clear, concise, and highlight my impact, helping me sound well prepared rather than rehearsed. Liam, that's a thorough approach. The STAR method is invaluable for behavioral questions. I've found that preparing questions to ask the interviewer is equally important. It shows genuine interest and helps you assess if the company is a good fit for you. I usually prepare about 5 to 7 questions covering team dynamics, growth, and company culture. And identifying my elevator pitch, a concise summary of who I am, what I do, and what I'm looking for, has been crucial for opening questions like, "Tell me about yourself." Sophia, that's a proactive way to handle it. I've found that researching the company culture is also vital. Looking at social media, employee reviews, and news articles gives you a feel for their values and environment. This helps you tailor responses to demonstrate cultural alignment. Being honest about your own values is the first step to finding the right fit. Liam, and what about more advanced techniques? Once you've got the basics down, what strategies do you use to optimize your interview performance and stand out? Sophia, for optimizing, mock interviews are incredibly effective, especially with someone who has recruitment experience. They provide unbiased feedback on body language, tone, and clarity, helping me identify blind spots and refine my delivery. It's like a dress rehearsal. Liam, those are excellent strategies. I've also found that understanding the different types of interviews is very useful for strategic preparation. For example, knowing if it's a technical interview versus a behavioral interview versus a panel interview changes your preparation focus significantly. For technical roles, I'd brush up on coding challenges, whereas for behavioral, I'd have more STAR examples ready. Sophia, absolutely. Tailoring your preparation to the interview format is key. What about using technology or specific tools? How do you leverage them for interview preparation? Liam, technology is crucial for me. I rely heavily on LinkedIn for researching interviewers to build rapport. I also use online platforms for practicing coding challenges or mock video interviews. For virtual interviews, ensuring a stable internet connection, a professional background, and good lighting are non-negotiables. It helps me present myself professionally, even remotely. Sophia, definitely. Digital tools can be a game changer. I use similar tools, and I also find specific note-taking apps helpful for tracking details related to each role and company. And what about follow-up? That's a powerful tool for demonstrating continued interest. Liam, absolutely. Sending a thank you note within 24 hours is essential. I always personalize it, referencing specific points from our conversation to show I was engaged. It's not just polite, it's a strategic way to reiterate your interest and briefly highlight why you're a strong candidate. It's about leaving a lasting positive impression. Sophia, that's a crucial point. It also keeps you top of mind. And what about the art of negotiation? That can be a significant part of the post-interview process, but it's often difficult to do without feeling uncomfortable. Liam, it certainly can. Learning to research salary benchmarks for similar roles in your industry and location is vital before discussing compensation. It empowers you to negotiate confidently and ensures you're compensated fairly. It's about knowing your worth and articulating it professionally. Sophia, that's a professional approach. I've found that reflecting on the interview experience regardless of the outcome can also be incredibly valuable. What went well? What could have been better? This helps you learn and improve for future opportunities, reducing the emotional impact of rejections and turning them into learning experiences. Liam, so it seems like job interviewing is multifaceted, covering everything from meticulous preparation and effective communication to strategic follow-up and self-reflection. Sophia, exactly. And mastering these skills can significantly impact our career trajectory, confidence, and overall professional well-being. Developing self-awareness, resilience, and strong communication skills are key. Liam, I agree. And remembering that every interview is a two-way street, you're also interviewing them, is important. It helps shift your mindset from just being evaluated to actively assessing if the role and company align with your aspirations. Sophia, that's a great point. It's an ongoing process of learning and refinement, and every interview, successful or not, adds to your experience and expertise. Liam. Well, Sophia, this has been a truly insightful conversation. It's good to know that many of these aspects are universal and that there are strategies we can use to improve our interview success rates. Sophia. Absolutely, Liam. Sharing these experiences can be really helpful. It reminds us that job interviewing, while challenging, is a skill that can be developed and refined with consistent practice and the right approach. It's about continuous improvement. Narrator. That was a truly insightful conversation between Liam and Sophia, exploring the diverse landscape of job interviews. They shared practical strategies for overcoming nerves, conducting thorough research, utilizing the STAR method, preparing insightful questions, leveraging technology, and recognizing the importance of follow-up and negotiation. Their discussion highlighted that a successful interview is a blend of preparation, communication, and self-awareness. Now, let's move on to our extensive practice session to help you actively engage with the language and concepts they explored. This section will reinforce your understanding and provide you with the tools to confidently discuss and navigate the job interview process in English. Practice section. Part 1. Vocabulary of job interviews. Let's review some key vocabulary and phrases related to job interviews that Liam and Sophia used, along with additional important terms. A job interview. A formal meeting at which a person applying for a job is asked questions about their experience, skills, and qualifications. Think about. What is the primary goal of a job interview from the employer's perspective? A nerves/jitters. Feelings of anxiety or nervousness, especially before an important event. Think about. How can you manage nerves before an interview? Curveball question. An unexpected or tricky question that is difficult to answer. Think about. What's a good strategy for responding to a curveball question? Articulate your thoughts/accomplishments to express an idea or feeling fluently and coherently. Think about. Why is it important to articulate your accomplishments clearly? Boastful. Showing excessive pride and self-satisfaction. Think about. What's the difference between sounding confident and boastful? A cultural fit. The likelihood that a job candidate will conform to an organization's values and behaviors. Think about. How can you assess a company's cultural fit during the interview? A disheartening. Causing someone to lose confidence or enthusiasm. Discouraging. Think about. How do you recover from a rejection email? A job description analysis. The process of carefully reading and breaking down the requirements of a job posting. Think about. How does job description analysis help tailor your resume? STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. A structured way of responding to behavioral interview questions. Think about. Provide an example of a behavioral question where the STAR method would be effective. A mock interview. A practice interview session to simulate a real job interview, often with feedback. Think about. What are the key benefits of conducting a mock interview? Elevator pitch. A brief, persuasive speech to spark interest in what you do. Think about. When might you use your elevator pitch during an interview? Rapport. A close and harmonious relationship where people understand each other. Think about. How can you build rapport with an interviewer? Follow-up. The act of continuing to monitor or check on a situation, or to take further action. Think about. What is the appropriate timing for sending a follow-up email? Thank you note. A written or emailed message expressing gratitude. Think about. What specific details should you include in a personalized thank you note? A negotiation. Discussion aimed at reaching an agreement, often about salary and benefits. Think about. What information should you gather before salary negotiation? Salary benchmarks. Standard or average salary ranges for specific job roles. Think about. Why is it important to research salary benchmarks? A resilience. The capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness. Think about. How does resilience play a role in a long job search? A self-awareness. Conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, and motives. Think about. How does self-awareness help identify your strengths and weaknesses for an interview? Transferable skills. Skills developed in one area that can be applied to another. Think about. Give an example of a transferable skill you possess. A. Behavioral questions. Interview questions asking candidates to describe past situations. O. Think about. Why do interviewers ask behavioral questions? Technical interview. An interview assessing technical knowledge, problem-solving, and coding skills. O. Think about. What are common elements of a technical interview? Panel interview. An interview conducted by a group of interviewers simultaneously. O. Think about. What are some strategies for engaging with multiple interviewers? Or applicant tracking system, ATS software used by employers to screen job applications. O. Think about. How can you optimize your resume to pass through an ATS? E. Nonverbal cues. Unspoken signals such as body language and facial expressions. O. Think about. What are some positive nonverbal cues you can use during an interview? Active listening. Paying full attention to what is being said, verbally and nonverbally. O. Think about. How can you show an interviewer that you are actively listening? Part 2. Reflecting on your interview experiences. Think about your own experiences with job interviews, past or present. Answer the following questions in detail. What has been your biggest challenge during a job interview? Describe a specific instance. Describe a time when you felt particularly confident and successful in an interview. What strategies did you use? What was the most unexpected question you've ever been asked, and how did you respond? How do you typically research a company and role before an interview? Have you ever used the STAR method? So, how effective was it? What are your top 2 non-negotiables for a new job or company culture? How do you deal with the waiting period after an interview? What is one major lesson you've learned about job interviews that you wish you knew earlier? What is one area of your interview skills you are actively trying to improve? How does effective interview preparation impact your confidence? Part 3. Practicing phrases for discussing job interviews. Imagine you are talking to a friend or colleague in English about your job search and interview experiences. Practice using the following phrases naturally. I'm preparing for a job interview next week and I'm feeling a bit nervous. My biggest challenge is definitely managing my nerves when I'm put on the spot. I've started doing a lot more research on the company's recent projects. I'm really trying to brush up on my STAR method for behavioral questions. I find that practicing my answers out loud helps me sound more natural. It's hard to ask insightful questions sometimes, but I know it's crucial. I'm trying to be more proactive about sending thank you notes right after the interview. Do you use any specific apps or tools for interview preparation? I'm hoping to make a strong impression with my enthusiasm and relevant experience. I'm trying to assess the company culture during the interview as much as they're assessing me. I always make sure to prepare a few questions to ask at the end. I'm trying to articulate my accomplishments more effectively without sounding boastful. I'm a bit worried about getting a curveball question that I haven't prepared for. I think I need to work on my nonverbal cues like maintaining better eye contact. I'm trying to understand the different types of interviews so I can tailor my preparation. I'm hoping to negotiate a fair salary if I get an offer. I always try to send a personalized thank you note within 24 hours. It's important to demonstrate cultural fit during the conversation. I'm trying to learn from every interview experience, whether I get the job or not. What's your best advice for handling salary expectations? Practice incorporating these phrases naturally into your explanation of the situation and your feelings about it. Part 4. Role-playing a scenario about job interview solutions. Imagine you and a colleague are brainstorming solutions for common job interview problems. Take turns suggesting potential strategies and discussing their pros and cons. Use phrases like those provided, focusing on collaborative problem-solving and respectful communication. Scenario 1. Overcoming interview nerves. I'm really struggling with interview nerves lately. My mind just goes blank sometimes. What if we tried? Colleague, I totally get that. What if we tried doing more mock interviews with each other? The benefit would be simulating the pressure so you get used to it. That's a good idea. However, a potential drawback might be replicating real pressure. Have you considered practicing deep breathing exercises right before the interview? Colleague, interesting idea. How would that work in practice if you're in a waiting room or on a video call? I'm not sure if completely avoiding nerves is feasible, but perhaps we could explore visualizing success before the interview. Visualizing could definitely help with mindset. Another option could be to research the interviewers beforehand on LinkedIn. The benefit would be knowing a bit about them, making them feel less like strangers. A colleague, that's a great point. Could help build rapport. What do you think the next step should be to implement some of these ideas? Scenario 2. Answering, tell me about a time you failed. I always dread the question, tell me about a time you failed. It's so hard to answer without sounding negative. What if we tried? A colleague, that's a tough one. What if we tried to frame the failure as a learning experience? The benefit would be showing self-awareness and growth. I like that approach. However, a potential drawback might be sounding like you're making excuses. Have you considered choosing a minor failure with a clear resolution? A colleague, that's practical. How would that work if the interviewer presses for a more significant failure? I'm not sure if avoiding big failures is wise, but perhaps we could explore focusing on the actions you took to rectify the situation. Focusing on the actions is key. Another option could be to use the STAR method even for failure questions: situation, task, action, result, but add a lesson learned component. Colleague, adding a lesson learned is brilliant. It provides a powerful closing. What do you think the next step should be to practice this specific type of question? Scenario 3. Following up after an interview. I sent a generic thank you email after my last interview and I'm not sure it made much impact. What if we tried? Colleague, I think we should definitely try personalizing the thank you note more. The benefit would be showing you were attentive and reinforcing your interest. Absolutely. However, a potential drawback might be it takes more time. Have you considered referencing a specific point from the conversation in the thank you note? Colleague, that's an excellent idea. How would that work if the interview was very short? I'm not sure if sending only a thank you note is enough, but perhaps we could explore following up with a relevant article or piece of information related to something discussed. That's a very proactive and impressive move. Another option could be to reiterate your key strengths briefly in the thank you note, linking them back to job requirements. Colleague, reiterating strengths is smart. What do you think the next step should be to ensure we're sending impactful follow-ups? Practice these dialogues, focusing on collaborative problem-solving and respectful communication. Narrator, the ability to effectively navigate a job interview is not an innate talent, but a skill that can be meticulously developed and continuously refined. As Liam and Sophia so thoughtfully illustrated, from understanding our personal anxieties and conducting thorough research to implementing advanced techniques like the STAR method and strategic follow-up, every strategy contributes to a more confident and successful interview experience. By embracing meticulous preparation, practicing self-awareness and adapting our approaches, we can transform the often daunting interview process into an opportunity to truly shine and secure the roles we aspire to. Thank you for joining the English Learning Podcast today. We hope this extensive episode has provided you with valuable language, practical insights, and the confidence to master the art of the job interview. We'll be back soon with more engaging conversations to support your English learning journey. Until then, remember that every interview is a chance to learn, grow, and take another step towards your professional goals.